Night. Luo Feng brought little Naku and rushed into the sky. Little Naku couldn't help but look down at Swallow Mound City and couldn't help but tear up. Naku, sleep. Once you wake up, you'll be fine, Luo Feng said softly. His voice had an unbelievable power. Naku felt his entire being drowsy, closing his eyes and falling asleep. Sleeping will save me some trouble. Luo Feng rushed into the sky, breaking through layer after layer of clouds. With one breath he rushed to the 18th cloud level. Any higher and he would leave Blood River World. With a thought, a silver pyramid ship appeared beside him. Luo Feng hugged little Naku and flew into the ship. Within the control room. After placing little Naku in the resting cabin and letting him sleep, Luo Feng came to the control room. This is the map of Blood River continent. Babata, calculate where the coordinates of the ancient god ruins are. LuoFeng's consciousness connected to Babata. Babata's calculation was extremely fast, very quickly giving Luo Feng the coordinates. That area belonged to the ancient god ruins region. Even if there was a difference, it wouldn't be much. Let's go. We'll head towards the ancient god ruins and stop after 16 billion kilometers. Luo Feng ordered the automaton ship's AI. Actually, the AI controlling the automaton ship was also a subsidiary AI created by Babata. Under normal circumstances, the subsidiary AI could perfectly control the ship. And in times of emergency, Babata could take over the control and truly unleash the automaton ship's strongest control abilities. Yes, master. The ship's AI replied. So, the automaton ship broke through the cloud layer and swiftly flew in space. External simulation 100%. Luo Feng ordered. Immediately a dreamy scene appeared before him. On one side was space and on the other was the outermost layer of clouds of Blood River World. The vast Blood River continent. Luo Feng looked at the continent from space. Yet he doesn't dare to leave the cloud layer. The power of the Virtual Universe Company is really strong. Babata, help me prepare a plan to nurture Naku. I can't possibly accompany him, I can only do my best to help him. Luo Feng exclaimed. Within the control room Babata's voice resounded. This is a small matter, you yourself already have many treasures, and the few domain lords who died also contributed many treasures. Nurturing this punk is very easy. After a while, Luo Feng received a detailed list of plans to nurture Naku. As Luo Feng sat in the automaton ship and flew swiftly in the space outside Blood River World. A silver, black, disc-shaped universe ship with a diameter of 180 m appeared in the 16th cloud layer above Swallow Mound City. Wow. The leader was clad in a black battle suit. His long blue hair fluttered in the wind, and his eyes seemed to contain an infinite world. Behind him were 4 men and women in purple uniforms. All of them had restrained their auras, and they were all area lords. I really want to know who has the guts to do this. How dare you kill my disciple in my territory? The blue-haired black-clothed man's eyes were like lightning shooting downwards. Even the layers of clouds avoided his gaze, allowing him to see the tiny Swallow Mound City below. Let's go down, the blue-haired man in black said coldly. Yes. Behind him, the 4 purple-clothed domain lords followed respectfully. The 5 of them shot down like lightning, and the floating universe ship disappeared. Within the city leader's residence. Even though a portion of it had been destroyed, it was much bigger than the Pure Feather family, and there were still many places that were undamaged. Within a palace hall, Swallow Mound City, be it the families, sects, army information system, all the leaders were gathered here. Silence. The hall was silent. That formless pressure caused all the important figures of Swallow Mound City to sweat profusely. They knelt on the ground respectfully because they knew who the person before them was. World leader. The owner of this world. Your city leader Rock Wind Xiong is dead. The blue-haired black-clothed man said coldly. The group of people below trembled. The 2 envoys from the undying shrine that passed by Swallow Mound City are dead too. The group of people below were shocked. They really didn't know. The killer, it's him. The blue-haired black-clothed man waved his hand and immediately a stack of papers fell to the ground. Every piece of paper had a person dressed in black armor, helmet and boots, wielding a 6-edged shield and a blood shadow blade. In fact, this picture was simply a printed picture based on the video. Killer? The group of people looked at the papers. His face is covered? He's dressed in black armor. The streets are filled with black armor, how do we find him? The group of people were filled with doubt and helplessness. The killer changed his appearance after killing, how would they find him? We can confirm that he's a domain-level pinnacle warrior. The blue-haired black-clothed man said coldly. Activate all your abilities and go check. Check if there's a suspected domain-level warrior that has appeared in Swallow Mound City during this period of time. Yes. The group of people knelt. I want to receive your report before dawn tomorrow. The group of people all left. The blue-haired black-clothed man stood within the palace, looking outside through the door, almost as though he could see through space. You dare kill my Xiyang's disciple and steal my Blood River crystals, humph. A cold snort resounded within the palace. The automaton ship was flying in space outside Blood River World. After about 22 hours it slowed down and stopped. Master, we've already reached 16 billion kilometers. A voice resounded within the control room. Luo Feng nodded. He went to the resting cabin and carried the sleeping Naku, swiftly flying out of the automaton ship's cabin door. He kept the ship and headed straight for the cloud layer of Blood River World below. Rumble. Rushing into the 18th cloud layer, 17th, 16th. Naku. Luo Feng shouted. Only then did Naku wake up. He looked at himself floating in mid-air, supported by a formless energy. Before him stood Luo Feng. Big brother Feng. Only then did Naku wake up. Follow me down. Luo Feng brought Naku and swiftly broke through the final cloud layer. Naku looked down shockingly as it was still nighttime. Blood River Continent's nighttime was 6 to 7 times longer than Earth's nighttime, and a mere 16 billion kilometers of distance made Swallow Mound City and the region before him still in the same time zone. Luo Feng brought Naku and entered the nearest city. This city was called Meng Na City, with an area of tens of millions of km around Meng Na territory. The world Meng Na territory was in was called merging with the world. This Meng Na City is actually merging with the world. It's said that compared to our Si-Yong world, it's 10 worlds apart. Naku was extremely shocked. Big brother Feng, how long did I sleep for? Relaxed, less than 30 days. Luo Feng said. 30 days in Blood River world was equivalent to half a year on Earth. In truth, Naku only slept for 20 hours. However, Naku probably wouldn't find out. The many worlds on Blood River continent were at war with each other, plus it was simply too vast, there was no way to keep track of time. Less than 30 days? That's still alright. Naku nodded. It's said that many warriors have to travel through 10 worlds, and that requires a long period of time. After settling down in Meng Na City for a day, Luo Feng brought Naku to a sect called the Rainblade sect. The leader of the sect personally welcomed Luo Feng and Naku. This is the little punk I told you about. I'll leave him in your sect now. When I'm done with my training, I'll come back and take him away. When that time comes, I'll naturally thank you properly. Luo Feng looked at the leader of the Rainblade sect before him. He nodded. Relax, this small matter is definitely not a problem. The leader of the Rainblade sect was a skinny and intrepid old man. As a cloud-level, universe-level warrior, he was a big figure in Meng Na City. However, Luo Feng's arrival last night had indeed shocked this old man. This black-haired youth, his strength is deep and immeasurable. I have no way to resist him at all. He should be a domain-level warrior. And he's really generous. To be able to be on good terms with such an absolute warrior, that's something I can't even beg for. From then on, Naku stayed within the Rainblade sect of Meng Na City. Naku, you've trained in archery before, that means your spirit energy is indeed very strong. This is the spirit reader training method I've prepared for you. Luo Feng took out a thick book. It was printed by Babata using the local paper and written in the local language. It was a spirit reader training method from the basics to the advanced. Actually, this was something only the elite disciples of the Unimo planet could train in. This is a training method. As long as you have enough ability, you can rely on it to train until you become an undying. Luo Feng said. Big brother Feng. Naku looked excitedly at the book before him. My god, the worlds of Blood River continent were fighting each other. This method that could train from the Star Traveler level to undying was extremely valuable. This is a suggestion I've prepared for you on how to train. Luo Feng handed over a thin list of books. It tells you on how to use treasures to improve your training. These are some treasures. Luo Feng handed over a storage ring. With these treasures, as long as you train seriously, reaching the cloud level, universe level, definitely won't be a problem. As long as you work hard, becoming a domain level, domain lord, is even possible. As for higher levels, it'll depend on your own ability. Luo Feng smiled as he looked at Naku. Naku was shocked. This was like a pie falling from the sky. As long as he worked hard, he could reach cloud level, universe level. Just looking at the leader of the Rainblade sect, being able to establish a sect within the city, cloud level, was definitely an absolute warrior within a territory. Thank you, thank you. Naku was so excited his eyes were red. Luo Feng smiled. What was this? Back when his teacher, the master of the Unimo planet, prepared some treasures for him, he had the confidence to rush to the domain lord level, or even sector lord level. As long as he didn't care about the price, he could easily mass-produce universe levels, domain lords and sector lords. Of course, the price-to-performance ratio was simply too low. For example, the amount of money needed to create a universe level was enough to buy an army of universe-level slaves. This Naku was a native of Blood River World. He was naturally a star traveler, plus the environment of Blood River World. His talent was much stronger than LuoFeng's back then. Luo Feng only had to prepare some treasures and he could nurture him to cloud level. I know you really want to return. However, remember, before you reach cloud level, you definitely won't be allowed to return. Luo Feng emphasized, passing through 10 worlds is too dangerous. If you return without cloud level power, that's suicide. Naku nodded. Luo Feng smiled. Alright, these I've given you, don't tell anyone else. I understand. Naku was a merchant family, he naturally knew the consequences of revealing these treasures. Haha, I'm leaving. Luo Feng smiled and his body flashed, vanishing. Only Naku was left in the room. Naku held a thick book in his hands, gently flipping it open. Every page had very small words, causing the entire book to contain a shocking amount of information. Dad, you're right. This is an opportunity, a huge opportunity. Naku kept the book in his space ring, his eyes filled with determination. I will definitely succeed in my training, I definitely will. Luo Feng rushed into the sky, passing through layer after layer of clouds, until he broke through the 18th level and arrived in the space outside of Blood River World. Little Naku. Luo Feng looked down at the vast clouds below. I've already done all I can. As for what level you can reach in the future, that's up to you. A true warrior still has to rely on himself to train. I'm currently training too, it's just that I'm one step ahead of you. Shwa. Luo Feng immediately flew into the automaton ship that appeared in space. Simultaneously he ordered, "Advance, head to the ancient god ruins." The automaton ship was disguised as a small meteorite swiftly advancing in space. As for the fate of the Na family father and son, Luo Feng could only wish them well, he still had his own path to walk. Trash. A bunch of trash. The black-robed Si Yong was like an absolute beast standing in his palace, roaring at the group of trembling subordinates below. "It's been a whole 3 days, 3 days. This is the reply you've given me? There's actually nothing useful at all." The upper echelon of Swallow Mound City were like weak rabbits, all trembling uncontrollably. How can you blame us? The pictures were all of them wearing armor and masks, and they were all the most common types. Check the news, there were many foreign warriors, but when we checked they were all fake. The underlings were all bitter within, but they didn't dare retort in front of the world leader. What a joke. Do you know this is a huge joke? Si Yong's expression was gloomy, raging. "The bastards from the other worlds around us are all laughing at me. And you guys are really useless." The group of underlings knelt there, trembling, not daring to raise their heads. "Useless? You guys are just useless. Go." Si Yong ordered, "Put up a bounty throughout Swallow Mound City, say, the culprit is a pinnacle domain level wearing black armor using a blade and a shield. At the same time, put up all the pictures of the blade and shield. As long as you can provide something useful, you'll be rewarded with 1,000,000 treasure coins. If you can provide the location of the culprit, if it's true, you'll be rewarded with 100 million treasure coins, a luxurious mansion in Swallow Mound City, 8,000 slaves and 8,000 guards." Si Yong said with a serious expression. "Yes." The group of people looked at each other, shocked at the strength of this bounty. Then they all knelt down and answered, "Hurry up and scram." Si Yong roared, scaring everyone away. Only Si Yong and his 4 subordinates were left in the hall. "Master, just leave this matter to us. Master, you have to worry about it," a seemingly simple and honest middle-aged man hurriedly said. Si Yong glanced at him and coldly said, "Just a few world lords watching a joke isn't enough to make me so angry. Do you know? The Undying Shrine is already asking me why 2 envoys died in my territory. That bunch of old farts." Si Yong's face was ashen, he snorted coldly, "Humph, the death of 2 envoys is such a small matter, there's no way the high-up Undying would come personally. So those old fellows relied on their Undying's authority to shout at me. How infuriating. I really want to smash this group of old fellows into dregs with one punch." The 4 subordinates glanced at each other and realized that the Undying Shrine was pressuring them. Within Swallow Mound City. "Out of the way, out of the way." A group of soldiers riding on dire beasts whizzed over, chasing away a large number of people on the road. "This way, paste." The leader of the group of soldiers pointed to a large empty wall on the side of the street and gave the order. Immediately the other soldiers jumped off their desolate beasts and quickly pasted the paper and pictures that were given to them on the wall. Soon the extremely clear pictures and the shocking reward shocked the people on the street. This place was a main road and there were many people coming and going. As long as the information is useful, the reward is 1,000,000 treasure coins? 1,000,000 treasure coins? How much is that? I've never personally seen treasure coins before. A treasure coin, that's 1,000 large coins, 1,000,000,000 small coins. I only earn 10 small coins a day, how long will that take? Look. 100 million treasure coins? A luxurious mansion, 8,000 servants and 8,000 guards? Crazy, crazy. 8,000 servants, 8,000 guards, to be able to arrange so many servants and guards in a mansion, it's already the best in Swallow Mound City. Only the General's Mansion, Pure Feather Family Mansion and a few others are bigger than this. Bounty for the killer, domain level pinnacle? I think I've seen this person before, he's quite similar to a guest of our Flying Cloud Pavilion. Keep dreaming, your Flying Cloud Pavilion has hundreds of thousands of guests, there are many who look like him. He had gone mad. Such a huge bounty, even cloud level, universe level, warriors couldn't help but be moved, much less normal people. A random bounty from a high and mighty world leader caused the entire Swallow Mound City to be in an unprecedented uproar within a day. The investigation progress immediately rose. In space. When Swallow Mound City began to put up the bounty, Luo Feng, who was on the automaton ship heading towards the ancient god ruins, took out the Blood River crystals. Within the training room, Luo Feng laid there, staring at the beautiful triangular blood-red crystal in his hand. Heading to the ancient god ruins, there's 1.2 trillion kilometers. With the automaton ship's speed, it'll take over 2 months to fly. No matter what ship it was, the closer it got to light speed, the harder it got. Just like an exam, the maximum score was 100 points, the closer it got to 100 points, the harder it got. Was the same. The closer it got to light speed, the harder it was to accelerate. As long as the resistance was slightly stronger, one wouldn't be able to reach light speed. Although it was called the void of the space mystic realm was filled with dust and debris. Just the solidified cosmic origin energy alone was enough to form a fog. Under such astonishing speed, the fog was also a form of resistance. If I could travel through universe, I just have to accelerate and travel back to my original universe and I'd be able to arrive. It's a pity I can't travel through universe. Then, I'll absorb the crystal. Luo Feng adjusted slightly, following which his right hand's fingers swiped across his left palm. Almost like a knife had slashed across, a wound appeared and fresh blood flowed out. Luo Feng immediately placed the crystal on the wound and the formless energy immediately rushed into his body, simultaneously activating the mysterious energy that was hidden within every cell of his body. A simple engraving appeared on Luo Feng's chest. Rumble. Kill. Almost like an endless flood crashing over, the crazed willpower filled with killing intent was incomparably strong, crashing against Luo Feng's willpower. However, in terms of willpower and resilience, many sector lords were far from Luo Feng's. Even those high and mighty undyings who didn't know how to train their spirit, might not be stronger than Luo Feng in terms of willpower. Willpower. It had nothing to do with cultivation. His heart was as cold as a mirror. Looking at the seemingly terrifying and ferocious willpower, it was actually incomparably chaotic. His heart was like a blade, slicing through all obstructions. This fearsome willpower seems to be twice as strong as the last time. Luo Feng was curious. The same blood river crystal, the willpower within should be the same. Why is it that the second crystal's willpower is twice as strong as the first? Don't tell me the chaotic willpower from the first is still hiding within? Before Luo Feng could understand, an intense pain that made even his soul tremble spread throughout his body. The blood river crystal in his palm flowed with threads of blood-colored energy, swiftly entering Luo Feng's body, and this caused his body to change intensely. Pili Pala. Luo Feng's entire body actually began to swell, his bones and muscles constantly thickening. To have such a change happen in such a short period of time, the pain was unimaginable. His body was undergoing all sorts of unimaginable changes. So uncomfortable, why is it so much more uncomfortable than the first time? Luo Feng's eyes were cold, however his facial muscles were twitching uncontrollably, his teeth too were growing sharp fangs uncontrollably. This time the pain had already spread from his body to his soul, and Luo Feng's willpower and consciousness were still very strong. Forcefully enduring all of this without being affected, at least he was still very conscious. Chi. Luo Feng's chest suddenly split open and fresh blood splattered. Pa. The leg bone that was changing suddenly broke. Hua Huan immediately large amounts of blood-colored energy swiftly flowed out of Luo Feng's body, flowing into the blood river crystal in his palm. In an instant, the crystal that was almost translucent returned to its beautiful blood-red color. It stopped. What's going on? Luo Feng realized that his body had returned to his human form, the only change was the wound on his chest and the broken leg bone. With a thought, immediately the pure energy from his internal world gushed in and swiftly healed his body. Very quickly the wounds and broken bones returned to normal without any damage. Luo Feng sat quietly on the sofa, one hand holding a glass of wine, the other measuring the crystal. No change, this crystal hasn't changed at all. Luo Feng frowned. And I can feel it too, my body hasn't improved at all. Using that mysterious energy within me, my comprehension of the universe origin laws is still the same. This time the absorption has completely failed. Yes, a complete failure. How can this be? My willpower and consciousness can only make it to the 10th island in Fantasy Ocean before failing. My body is an Earthling's body, but it's also very normal. Thinking about this, Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Within his mind floated a line of words from the books he had read before. The content was, blood river crystals are rare and precious. Fusion was extremely difficult. Absorbing one was already hard. Absorbing two would increase the body's requirements by 10 times. Absorbing three would increase the body's requirements by 100 times. The further you go, the harsher the requirements will be. Recalling this phrase, Luo Feng realized. Yes, the body. My Earthling body is considered normal. I succeeded in fusing one but failed to fuse two. However, the requirements on the body are increased by 10 times? Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. Body strength? Toughness? Cell activity? Also, it said that killing can aid in absorbing the crystals. However, what aspect of the body would it improve? The killing aura of the ancient god ruins, it said that going there and being attacked by the killing aura will aid in absorbing the crystal. It's also said that killing will aid in absorbing the crystal. It's also said that absorbing the crystal has harsh requirements on the body. Luo Feng nodded, completely understanding within. Obviously, killing and being attacked by the killing aura in the ancient god ruins will have special effects on the body. It will raise a certain aspect of the body. It will allow the body to absorb the crystal. Killing? His earth body could be said to have killed a lot, but that was only compared to normal people. It wasn't a lot either, the amount his earth body killed was indeed very limited. On the other hand, he had killed quite a lot in the virtual universe network. However, those killings were all on the network and didn't affect his body at all. Haha. I went to the ancient god ruins to become a blood warrior or even a black warrior. Hence I went. I didn't expect that the second crystal wouldn't be able to absorb successfully. Luo Feng shook his head and sighed, immediately closing his eyes. His consciousness connected to the virtual universe network and entered the absolute beginning region to seriously train. On the streets. My luck sure sucks, I lost again. Yu Chunyang cursed within as he walked on the streets. Brother, brother. A voice resounded. Yu Chunyang turned to look, seeing an armored youth running over excitedly, he couldn't help but smile. I say Asyang, why are you so happy? Don't tell me our young master Naku has been found? No. The old master has been searching everywhere for the young master, however he's vanished, no one knows where he went. The armored youth Yuxiang shook his head. Swallow Mound City is so big and chaotic with the young master's dumb temper who knows when he offended someone he might even be killed. Damn, you dare curse the young master to be killed? Yu Chunyang stared. Yu Xiang's eyes rolled about as he pulled Yu Chunyang to the side. At the same time he transmitted via origin power, "Brother, did you see the bounty posted outside?" "What bounty? I just came out of the gambling den, where would I see it?" Yu Chunyang shook his head. "Come with me." Yu Xiang hurriedly pulled her brother. "Where to?" "You can just follow me." The two brothers quickly arrived at a place with a bounty posted on the street. The temptation of this bounty was too great. Even now there were still a large number of people on the street looking up. Many people were still muttering, dreaming of finding the murderer and reporting the news to get a huge reward. 1,000,000 treasure coins? 100 million? Yu Chunyang's eyes widened. Take a good look at the contents of the bounty. There's a picture of the murderer and the armor and weapons he's using. Yu Xiang, who was beside him, transmitted his voice. Seeing this, Yu Chunyang's eyes widened. He turned to look at his brothers and transmitted his voice. "Ah Xiang, when we accompanied the young master to the wilderness forest, didn't we meet a super expert who used this kind of shield and saber? Moreover, he had instantly killed the 13 acts without them even having the chance to retaliate. 3 of the 13 acts were cloud level. That great expert is probably a domain realm." "Yes." Yu Xiang nodded slightly, transmitting, "Our Swallow Mound City, it's rare for a domain level super warrior to come. The shield and weapon used were the same. How could there be such a coincidence? This Master Feng is really ruthless. Even the Undying Shrine envoy was killed in 1/2 ruthless." "Us?" Yu Chunyang's eyes gleamed. "Are we going?" Yu Xiang looked at his brother. "This." Yu Chunyang was hesitant. "If you're not going, then I'll go." Yu Xiang transmitted, "Don't regret it. Old Master has been good to us, but aren't we entering the Na family for money?" Yu Chunyang gritted his teeth. "All right, let's go." And so, the two swiftly headed towards the city leader's mansion. City leader's mansion. Si Yong sat on the throne in the palace looking down below. Below stood 3 people respectfully. "You found out." Si Yong's voice was low, filled with formless pressure. "After posting the bounty, it's indeed much better. However, of the 3 you mentioned before, 2 of them were fake. As for the last one, we're unable to confirm it at the moment. Do you have confidence in what you're saying now?" World leader. One of the general's eyes were filled with joy, saying excitedly, "This time our confidence is much greater than the previous few times. We've received information from 3 people. All of them talking about the same person." In the palace, Si Yong raised his head. "He's called Feng." According to what the 3 informants said, not long ago, this Feng had met the young master Naku of Swallow Mound City's Na family in a wild beast forest outside the city. On the way they were attacked by the 13 acts. That mysterious warrior Feng instantly swung his blade, simultaneously transforming into 13 images. With 13 slashes he killed the 13 acts, and the 13 acts didn't even have the chance to retaliate. 13 acts, what organization? Si Yong frowned. World leader, this is a rather famous organization within Swallow Mound City. The 13 acts refers to 13 warriors, of which 3 are cloud levels. 10 pinnacle sky levels. The general said respectfully, "And we've already confirmed the death of the 13 acts. It was that person who killed them." "Oh." Si Yong stood up fiercely. This news was vicious. Instantly forming 13 images, killing 13 people, and of those killed, 3 were cloud levels. Space origin laws? Si Yong's eyes lit up, confirming within, "Right, the black armored fighter in the video sent by Envoy Mo is proficient in space laws, his speed is shockingly fast." "Weapons?" Si Yong asked. "Shield, blade, exactly the same as in the picture." The general said seriously. "Very good." Si Yong's eyes lit up. "Go find out more about this phone." "Yes." Back then Nabu, who couldn't bear to part with his family and chose to stay in Swallow Mound City, had his memories wiped from that night. So when he realized his son had disappeared, he panicked, using all his strength to search for his son. Even when the bounty came out he didn't go out to take a look. When he went to take a look he was shocked awake. He also suspected that the culprit could very well be Master Feng. So he immediately wanted to control the team from back then. However, other than the 4 he controlled, the others weren't there. "Bring them away. Bring them all away. Hurry and find them. This is the list of the team from back then, find the others. Also, quickly find young Master Naku from the Na family." A group of soldiers rushed into the Na family and captured Nabu as well as Uncle Lei. A purple uniformed seductive lady stood outside the torture room. Quang Dang, the door opened and the general walked out. "Greetings, sir." The general saw the lady and was shocked, immediately bowing respectfully. This seductive lady in front of him was one of the 4 subordinates that the world leader Si Yong had brought, a domain-level expert. "Interrogate this Na family head. Have you gotten any accurate information about Feng?" the seductive lady asked. "No, he said he doesn't know." The general shook his head. "I've interrogated him in detail but discovered this Na family head should have only met Feng by chance. Their relationship isn't that deep." "Trash." The seductive lady roared. The general's face flushed red, wanting to say something but not daring to. "Get out, take all your men away. Leave the inside to me," the seductive lady said. The general immediately took all the soldiers away, leaving only Nabu and Thunder Uncle as prisoners. In the torture room, Nabu and Thunder Uncle's faces were pale, their bodies riddled with wounds, suffering physical pain. Master, we thought it was a good thing that we met Master Feng. I didn't think we'd end up like this. Really? Thunder Uncle shook his head and sighed. Beside him, Nabu sighed softly. Lei Dong, this time our Na family dragged you into this. Master. Thunder Uncle was about to speak. The purple-clothed lady walked in from outside the torture room. Just the way she walked was seductive, causing Thunder Uncle and Nabu to be unable to control themselves. Their gazes landed on the lady's body and slowly their eyes became blurry. That group of idiots, they actually used torture tools to interrogate. What idiots? The purple-clothed lady's face darkened, and then she started to interrogate. You speak first, tell me everything from the beginning to the end of your encounter with Feng. Also tell me your speculations, all of them. Uncle Lei repeated the story. Nabu repeated. Thunder Uncle and Nabu, under the control of soul techniques, guessed that the murderer was very likely Feng. This round of interrogation caused the purple-clothed lady's face to turn ugly. The cold wind pierced the bone. The blue-haired Si Yong stood in the corridor. Master. The purple-clothed lady walked over and bowed respectfully. Listening to your footsteps, the result of the interrogation doesn't seem to be good. Si Yong looked into the distance, his back facing the purple-clothed lady. The purple-clothed lady lowered her head and said, Yes, I used a soul-type secret technique to confirm that the two of them didn't lie. Their Na family indeed has a normal relationship with that Feng. However, that Feng seems to have a good impression of the Na family's young master. Naku? Where is he? Si Yong said indifferently. Naku disappeared. The purple-clothed lady said softly, and he disappeared on the night the Undying Temple envoy died. We couldn't find any information about this Feng. At the same time that Naku suddenly disappeared too. Even his father didn't know, so he was in a rush to find his son. He didn't even pay attention to the bounty. That's why those guards leaked the secret. Naku's disappearance is too coincidental. I'm sure it has something to do with the murderer. Now there are two possibilities. 1. Naku knew some detailed information about Feng. The murderer was afraid that his identity would be exposed, so he killed him. 2. Feng knew that killing the Undying Temple envoy would be troublesome, and would be traced back to the Na family. Because he had a good impression of Naku, he took him away. The purple-clothed lady said respectfully. What about Feng? Si Yong's voice was filled with anger. I don't want to know anything else now, I just want to know. Where is the murderer? I want to catch him. I don't know, we couldn't find any information. The purple-clothed lady shook her head. Rumble. Si Yong angrily swung his fist, smashing it against a pillar in the corridor. Immediately, a violent force exploded, and a terrifying shockwave burst forth from the point of impact, spreading out in a fan-shaped pattern. Immediately, a large number of the surrounding buildings were smashed to smithereens. Many servants, soldiers and guards were instantly ground into meat paste, and some lucky ones even had their arms or legs broken. Instantly, the city leader's manor was turned into ruins. Cries of pain and explosions filled the air. Bastard. Si Yong turned his head, his expression ferocious, his wild energy caused the heaven and earth to shake. Master, what do we do with the Na family? The purple-clothed lady asked respectfully. Na family? Si Yong's killing intent was terrifying. He said solemnly, there's no point in killing them. Also, Naku's father can be used as bait. Master, what do you mean? The purple-clothed lady's eyes gleamed. Naku's father, don't kill him. Kill the rest. Si Yong said indifferently, keep Naku's father under our surveillance. Who knows, Naku or that killer Feng might appear in the future. Yes. The purple-clothed lady replied respectfully and retreated. Si Yong's gaze swept across the area of a few km in front of him. There were screams and cries, however Si Yong was expressionless. He had indeed lost a lot of faith this time. 2 of his disciples and an envoy had died, and it was in his territory. Si Yong's expression grew darker. Feng? You're so strong you can't remain unknown forever. The moment you appear anywhere on Blood River continent, as long as I know, I'll make you understand the consequences of killing my disciple. In the space outside of Blood River continent, the automaton ship was heading towards the ancient god ruins with shocking speed. During these 2 months of travel, Luo Feng was either in the absolute beginning region listening to the Undying's lectures, or studying the 9-universe tablet, floating blood, time-space scribbles, or returning to Black Dragon Mountain Island to see his wife, son and brothers. His days were fulfilling and carefree. Master, we've already arrived at the target region. Within the ship's training room, the ship's AI's voice resounded. Haha, I finally arrived. Luo Feng, who was sitting crossed-legged like a statue, opened his eyes fiercely. He couldn't help but laugh, becoming a blur and rushing out. Ancient god ruins. I've been waiting for this day. I won't enter the ancient god ruins. When will I be able to absorb my second crystal? Luo Feng was dressed in silver-white armor and boots, flying out of the cabin door. Changing into silver-white armor and boots was for caution. The black-armored warrior from Swallow Mound City would probably be found out by others. Of course, the ancient god ruins was extremely far from Swallow Mound City, and it was a wasteland. There was no need to worry too much. So, from space, Luo Feng flew straight into the cloud level, once again entering Blood River continent. Tianshi Palace. There was a huge palace floating in space, specially designed to monitor Blood River continent. In the first level of the palace there was a huge screen, and on it was the scene of Luo Feng flying into Blood River continent. Haha! This Majesty Luo Feng has also gone to the ancient god ruins. How courageous of you! A dozen sector lords in charge of monitoring the movements of the entire Blood River continent were chatting and laughing. Everyone be serious. If our Majesty Luo Feng meets any enemies and rides his automaton ship out of the cloud layer, if any aboriginals dare to chase after him, we have to kill them immediately. Understood. Of course I know that. However, that ancient god ruins is the most important and dangerous place in Blood River continent. Back then it was said that our virtual universe company lost many undyings there. And that place was very strange. It would be very dangerous for His Majesty Luo Feng to go there. The dangerous grade mission he chose didn't force him to go to the ancient god ruins. The road is chosen by oneself. Our virtual universe company won't force anyone to do anything. However, no matter how much of a genius he is, since he has chosen to go to the ancient god ruins, we'll just watch. Even though it's very dangerous, if he has any accomplishments in the ancient god ruins, then his accomplishments won't be small. The ancient god ruins are indeed mysterious, the Blood River crystals are mysterious too. The group of sector lords chatted, and the entire space outside the cloud layer of Blood River continent was under their surveillance. The cloud mist pervaded, almost like a paradise. Wearing silver battle armor and silver battle boots, he passed through the clouds and flew downwards. Luo Feng's expression changed. Below should be the 15th cloud mist, why is it blood red? The endless cloud mist below was actually all blood red, almost like an endless blood ocean rumbling. That terrifying formless killing aura made one's heart palpitate. Not caring much, Luo Feng rushed downwards. As he entered the blood-red cloud mist, he immediately felt a special energy affecting him. Commotion. His heart was in turmoil as though he had a desire to kill. It actually causes one to be filled with the desire to kill. However, compared to the golden horned beast's natural bloodthirst, it's still far from it. Luo Feng's heart was resolute. He wasn't affected at all, continuing to rush downwards. Layer after layer of the blood-red cloud mist was broken apart, finally breaking through the final layer. Looking down. Endless mountain ranges, plains, swamps and other environments. However, these environments were all very peculiar. Like the mountain ranges, the entire layer seemed to have been shaved off or some part of it had been chopped off. On the plains, one could still see many extremely huge pits. Every pit was 100 kilometers in diameter. One pit after another. Almost like the footprints of an absolute beast. The most important thing was, all the regions below had a faint mist, a red mist. Because of this red mist, if one was too far away they wouldn't be able to see clearly. Ancient god ruins. Looking at this messy environment, it's indeed ruins. Luo Feng swiftly rushed down. Ancient god ruins had a diameter of a few hundred billion kilometer. It was an incredibly huge place. Throwing earth into the ancient god ruins was like throwing a drop of water into the Yellow River. On the bare ground one could faintly see some white bones. Luo Feng descended from the sky. His silver boots stepped on a broken blade, frowning deeply. This is the killing aura? Luo Feng felt a formless energy constantly bewitching his heart. At the same time, another mysterious energy was drilling into his skin and into his body. This mysterious energy, whether it was his genetic energy or spirit energy, he couldn't stop it. It would drill into his body and then drill out again. It treated his body like air wantonly passing through it. And during this process his body would undergo some changes. Killing aura? That's not right. The killing aura in the universe is purely on the mental level. A person's bloodthirst and ferocity would cause his eyes to be filled with killing aura, etc. However, this killing aura isn't just on the mental level, it also affects the body. Luo Feng was incomparably sure. His body was slowly undergoing changes that he didn't even understand. This was also the reason why the aboriginals of Blood River continent believed that the killing aura would make it easier to absorb the crystals. At least I can confirm this. This change has its benefits. Otherwise, in the dangerous level mission given to us by the Virtual Universe Company, they wouldn't have made becoming a Blood Warrior the second mission, and even gave us a huge reward of 100,000 points. The company obviously hopes that we can become Blood Warriors. Luo Feng was sure that this change was beneficial. Luo Feng took a step and was already 10 kilometers away. In the vast ancient god ruins, Luo Feng began to walk at shocking speeds, feeling the changes the ancient god ruins brought him. The killing aura here is thicker and here it's thinner. The thicker the killing aura, the stronger the mental bewitchment. Simultaneously my body seems to improve faster. Luo Feng had already sensed that the killing aura should have raised a certain characteristic of the human cells. The thinner the killing aura, the bewitchment becomes weaker and the body changes slower too. I need to save time. Hence I need to find a place with thick enough killing aura. Luo Feng swiftly rose into the sky and looked around. Determining the strength of the killing aura was very easy, one just had to see if the red mist in the area was thick or thin. Most of the areas were just thin mist, some had even thicker red mist. After searching for about half an hour, Luo Feng was currently searching in an extremely large ancient mountain range. There. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, the red aura in the distant forest was obviously shockingly thick. Luo Feng carefully flew over, noticing that there were no other people around. According to the books, there were many strong warriors that entered the ancient god ruins, yet he hadn't seen a single one. Everyone probably had the same thought, to enter a place with thick killing aura, that way their improvements would be faster. No one. Luo Feng entered the dense area. Wow, this feels great. Luo Feng felt as though countless drops of water were nourishing his every cell, the thick killing aura floated through his body, and his body felt an obvious change. As it was too obvious, the feeling was exceptionally clear. It was the deepest part of his cells, it could even be said that the body's most basic genes had changed. Almost like a butterfly breaking out of a cocoon. Kill? Endless killing aura willpower rushed into Luo Feng's soul, and as his body was slowly changing, large amounts of the killing aura willpower began to enter deep into his body. As time passed, it would merge with his soul, people with weaker willpower would go crazy. Even those with strong willpower would become bloodthirsty people. What a shocking killing aura willpower. Luo Feng stood beside a thick tree, standing there quietly. The endless killing aura constantly filled his consciousness. It was even stronger than absorbing the first crystal. Obviously not everyone could withstand the thick killing aura. Big brother and second brother said before, the stronger the desire, the better the chance to train my heart. Under the temptation of this killing aura, it can also train my heart. Luo Feng sat crossed-legged under the tree. A ghostly silhouette flashed through the distant thick killing aura, after which it arrived before Luo Feng and a glaring blade light pierced towards his head. Over 100 Luo Feng images appeared around him. Rumble. The thick tree behind Luo Feng immediately exploded into countless shards that shot in all directions. In an instant, the surrounding ancient trees either collapsed, or the thick branches fell. There was a loud rumble. You actually sneak attacked me, you're looking to die. Luo Feng's eyes stared angrily. With a roar, a blood shadow blade appeared in his hand and he immediately rushed towards the ghostly silhouette.